Hi everyone. I'd like to welcome all of you to HotelMize Roundtable. My name is Dork Rubiner and I'm the CEO and founder of HotelMize. HotelMize is enabling travel companies to drive profitability, enhance customer experience, and gain a competitive edge by providing them with a suite of fintech travel products. From fare optimization to room mapping to price drop protection to price freeze and other kind of products. Super happy to be back in Singapore and ITB specifically. So our panel today will be about new revenue opportunities driven by advanced technologies and innovation. Now, fortunately, the post-pandemic figures shows us that we've actually made a comeback and situation might be even better than before. And we believe this is the time to push forward with all power possible. Travel companies should be looking for opportunities and ways to drive more value for travelers as competition continues to grow on all travel verticals. And the best place to do that, or the best place to look, is new technologies and, of course, innovative ideas. More than a handful of successful travel companies have achieved their success by embracing innovation and new solutions that are relying on these advanced technologies. It enabled them to gain a competitive edge, create a unique selling proposition to the market, achieve their success, attract more clients, improve their business metric, and ultimately increase their profits. And that's precisely why we are here today. We'll take a closer look at what enabled those travel companies to enhance growth and customer experience, as well as what it actually takes to do so. Fortunately, I'm not here on this stage alone. I have wonderful guests, super knowledgeable speakers who will discuss some of the common challenges when working with emerging technologies and try to outline the most valuable mindset to adopt when innovating with a team. I'd like to take a minute to introduce our speakers. Riccardo Vittoria here on the left, Dennis van Noord on the middle, and Jin on the right. Very good, I like it. So Riccardo Vittoria is the Director of Product Strategy, Data and AI at American Express Global Business Travel. He's a serial entrepreneur. His latest startup, 30 Seconds to Fly, was bought by Amex GBT. It was an AI-based chatbot for travel management companies. Still is, right? Good. Jin, CTO at Dita Travel, has been with Expedia for 4 years as a product manager. James has an incredible knowledge in hotel travel technology and was a part of the team that built one of the first B2B global hotel distribution channels in China. As the CTO at Dita Travel, he secured the company position as one of the leading B2B travel tech companies worldwide. And last, but definitely not least, we have Dennis van Noord, the COO of Travel Rakuten Travel Exchange. His 20 years of experience in online travel market makes him the perfect speaker to have him with us today. Now, he started at Booking.com while it was only Booking.nl. He was the 22 employee, and before this panel, I actually looked on LinkedIn. I saw that you were 22, but today they have 15,310 other employees. So well done, it quite grew, right? So in 2010, he moved to Singapore and started working as a regional director of strategic partnership to help the company to build their APAC business. In 2016, he joined HomeAway, later became Variable, acquired by Expedia. A lot of big brands are here on stage. Very happy to have you. Now, after this introduction, let's get to business. Many travel companies are assessing the potential value of solutions enabled by new tech. My question is, are these solutions nice to have or must at today's environment? Go ahead.
New tech. So it's working? Yeah, it's working, right? Okay.
Yeah.
New tech. Well, there's so much new tech. So, okay, can you hear me? Yeah, okay. Of course, there's so much new tech these days. So it depends really on what you're looking at. I come from a world where I'm a strong believer that you have to have your own core tech built in-house so that you have proper control over it. You can customize it really based on your company's needs and what your particular customers really need. But then again, there's also a lot of smart companies out there that really build some amazing technology. If you can plug it in and do it successfully and it adds value, contributes to what you've built yourself, I'm sure there's plenty of opportunities to just keep growing your business.
Wonderful, thank you. Anyone else?
When you say new tech, what do you mean? What specifically? There is so much.
New technologies should be a new type of product which was not available before. The market continues to evolve all the time, right?
Any type. Got it. I think in AI, we are just getting started. You know, we were eating the appetizer in the last 10 years. Now the main course is about to come. You know, if you think, for example, that in the last 2 years, we have produced more data than since the beginning of the internet.
Oh, wow.
And that is like just food for AI, you know, it's like we are creating so much food and AI now is going to be everywhere. So I think there are a lot of opportunities in of course, chat and AI because it's like my bread and butter, but trip personalization, information extraction, a lot of stuff in predictive maintenance, price optimization. So a lot of stuff is coming up with artificial intelligence.
Don't reveal everything right away.
Huh?
Don't reveal everything right away. So maybe we should bring the discussion more down to earth, right? Let's talk not about data, AI as big words and stuff like that. Let's talk about the use cases, right? How do we actually utilize data to create value, whether it's back-end or front-end? I want each of you maybe to give me a use case of how they can actually leverage data in order to create value, whether it's back-end or front-end. Would you like to go first?
Yes, actually. Thanks for having me again. So actually, like for the data like execution, like application, like what we can see like in the recent years is like you can see like the personal needs for the travelers are more and more like personal. Like so you can see a lot of like especially like these OTAs like doing a lot of like tailor-made and AI like recommendations for the travel products, so the customers and consumers they can like get their products like more accurate and also with a cheaper price and also quicker. I think that's the trend. Also, you can see a lot of other like forms such as like chatbot, you know, so it can save a lot of like customer service like manpower. And that can also change a lot. Like to us, because like Dita is like a B2B company, right? For us, like it's that how we can make use of the data to help our clients. So what we do is that like we will like generate all sorts of like reports, for example, like diagnosis report, so they can share our data, and also within the data we will give them some insights, you know, to let them know, okay, for example, your customer service, like what is your level, what you can do better, you know, to like have like better production, and also like markup wise, if you mark down like how many percent, how many bookings you can have, things like that. So yeah, it's that's what we're already doing. So like it's just some example for the B2C and B2B world. Yeah, that's
Thank
what we
you.
see.
Wonderful. Thank you for that.
So big data. Big data, well, I guess it's been a buzzword technically already for a very long time. I guess for me it's more, okay, this is really thinking back, way back when in booking time, when really the company really took off, and the amount of data that flows in was so massive, and there's so much that you could do with it. It's more a matter of how can you actually make sense out of this data and use it to keep on optimizing, not just your UI UX, but also just really add value to the customer, always looking at the 80-20 rule, because otherwise it's just it's impossible to figure out how you're really going to handle it. But I guess today there's so many companies that have big data. It depends, of course, also what big is for you, for your company. I think one thing that really strikes me here that's very cool, so Rakuten has 70 entities around the world where they all pick up mass amount of data from different kind of industries, including e-commerce. But it also has a member base of more than 100 million customers. So you can imagine like how much data and transactions is going around in the whole platform. So this is also a new interesting one for us as Rakuten Travel Exchange. How can we learn from customer behavior in all these different segments that we can utilize to really optimize also our business with? So that's, I think, is a big one for us in terms of big data and how can we really crunch it.
Thank you.
I think I'm gonna touch to what you just said just now about customer behavior and how you can make sense out of it. Like at GBT, we have something like 12,000 clients, and again, massive amount of data. And a cool product that we're developing is using clustering and supervised learning algorithms on top of all these travelers' behaviors, so that then you can go to the travel manager and say, these specific people, let's say, Italians that work in chat, that live in New York, and blah, 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 actually are always out of policy. So then you can dig into why and then promote behavioral changes, not necessarily enforcing stricter policies, but just educate them, or maybe change their policy from the travel program perspective in order to adjust to their needs. So it's a beautiful example of how unsupervised learning, artificial intelligence can just go there, isolate groups of travelers. So if you speak of use case, I would say that one.
Yeah, so
there's so
super
many
interesting. Really, it's a very complex matter to when people are talking about AI and supervised learning versus unsupervised learning and so on. Now, everybody understands the value that comes from data. Not many really have the skills to do so. Many do attempt anyway. So my question is, companies always have this internal discussion either to try to develop their own product or data capabilities, or to buy them, right? Where does the line, stand? How do you decide if you want to build something? What are your criteria to build versus to buy?
That's a beautiful question. Shall I go first? Beautiful question. In artificial intelligence, when make or buy, I think it depends a lot on how deep the solution needs to go into your data set and how deep it needs to integrate with your ecosystem. So I'll give you a couple of examples then to make sense out of it. Let's say you need to build a chat AI. You cannot go to Dialogflow, Watson, or Alexa. Like in the travel domain, you will be completely lost, and the moment you put a real training set, it just blows up. It doesn't work. In that case, you need to build yourself. But I'll give you another example. Let's say, like we have a very successful partnership with Lumo in American Express GPT. So Lumo gives us predictive alerts if your flight is gonna get cancelled or delayed. So in this case, it's an external data set that doesn't depend on yours and just need to send you some information. That is a perfect use case of a Go license. You don't need to make yourself. So
yeah, but I think it's really right to say that you should build it if it's deep within your business, right? That's about what you said. But what about the resource it takes? What about the chances to go into a project that eventually won't yield the desired outcome, right? I think there's another aspect to make or buy, right? There is the risk factor in that. Amex bought your company because they were afraid that they would fail trying to invest the same amount of money and fail along the way, I guess, right?
Yeah.
So that's an interesting question that I believe companies should always think about. That there is a risk into that as well.
When you say buy, you mean license, or you mean buy a startup that doesn't?
No, buy as a license.
You mean license, okay.
Yeah, please. Anyone else? Go ahead.
Yeah, I think to me, like there's always like two dimensions. One is the infrastructure level. For example, like we are now all talking about like AI, technology, and also like the underlying like technology. For example, like TensorFlow and things like that. It's already there. I mean, like infrastructure technology like that. Like I don't think you should build it on your. You should always buy, because it's like more mature, like more efficient for you. And the other dimension is like on the application level. For example, like HotelMize, like you are doing some like remarkable work, by the way. So you're doing the rebooking system, and like your whole company is doing this one project. And like for other companies, okay, they might need this rebooking feature, but to them it's maybe like a side project or like a side business. They are not as professional as you, and also you have the whole team like devoted to this project. and yeah, you just consider like the value and the cost and the time you spend, and if you see this is a good deal and this is not like your main business, then for projects like this, I think you should always like buy instead of like doing on your own. Yeah, it's my opinion.
Thank you.
I think just one thing to add on there, because I already mentioned earlier, like a strong believer that you build things in-house. I think that what really your core business model is all about, you should, I always feel, really build in-house, because only with your own team you can really hyper-focus on really what the core should be all about. Then you could consider, okay, what additional and complementary products could there be that can enhance the product or especially the user experience for your customer. That's, I think, where you could consider indeed plugging in external parties. But I still strongly believe, really, that, again, that the core should be in-house. But you touched on an interesting one there, which, of course, are the resources, right? Everyone is these days struggling for tech resources. It's hard. We all try to figure our own way. We're all stealing each other's people. We're all going to the universities to figure out who's just graduating this year to pick up the new fresh grads. But if you really strongly believe that you want to build it in-house, yeah, indeed, you have to have the resources to support this.
Thank you. Thank all of you.
I agree.
You agree?
Definitely.
Wonderful.
And it's so difficult to find data scientists, if you know any.
No, definitely. I completely relate with everything you just said. I think that as we go forward in time and in technology, as much as technology will continue to develop, we will see that there are more companies created with a unique specialty and a specific feature, right? Because in the background, look, before that, anyone could create a chatbot, right? But as much as the chatbot is now becoming more and more sophisticated, you need to make a company out of it. Everybody used to do email marketing back in the day, but now when you're able to personalize those emails, campaigns, and so on, people are making, technology companies around that just to make the most out of the opportunity. That's how I see it. Okay, let's see. Future plans. Who's planning to adopt any new technologies, and what are they planning to achieve with that? License.
Should I go first? Or? I think, this is a short answer, so I'm going to go first. I was mentioning the partnership with Lumo. I think we're going to expand a lot into, so getting all this predictive flight delays or cancellation, and then we're sending a message to the user with a 3 personalization algorithm. So we say, hey, your flight got canceled. Here are some 4 options which are personalized for your program, your travel policy, your specific situations. So there is double AI, the predictive one and the 3 personalization one.
I hope they can work together, right? Go ahead. Next up. Go ahead.
Yeah, we actually this year's this is like one of the big strategy is like the digitalization. So when we talk about digitalization, like the big portion of it, it's about data, how to make use of the data. So like the technology like we're adopting right now, it's more of a like an infrastructure level. So it's like what we call this real-time data warehouse. Because like we used to have like, especially for travel companies, so you have a lot of data, and then you have this like a data warehouse. You can do a lot of analysis. But this like real-time like data warehouse is like all live data. But with the technology, you can like extract the kind of data you want just in an instant. No need to like do the refiltering, like things like that. So that's what we are kind of doing right now. So whenever we want something out of it, like it's either for internal, external, like we can just extract the data and just instantly. Yeah, that's what we are trying to do right now.
Thank you.
Future plans. It's of course an interesting one. If you could first of all just think about like what have we just gone through with this whole pandemic? What other kind of crisis have we gone through previously? And therefore, what else can come in the future? Again, it's unknown. We see like a lot of disasters, unfortunately some wars going on, which impacts obviously the customer behavior. For me, it's always more, okay, how agile or flexible can you be as a company to cater to changing customer demand? And how can you prepare for this? But also, again, I think this is a big one for every one of us. How can we create good, say, contingency plans for what if this happens again to us? And how do you survive and basically sail through such stormy weathers? So coming back to the thing of future plans, I guess you just have to have your, again, the core just strong, that can survive, that can deal with anything. And I think beyond that, you just need to be, again, agile, flexible enough to just figure out, okay, how can I scale up, scale down, add something new, remove something new. So it's like, and it's easy to just, again, to just figure out our new ways to just sail through such stormy weathers.
Yeah, thank you. I have another question for you, Dennis, because Rakuten is a massive company, right? Massive company, super technological. Is their innovation sense or character actually reflects as well in their travel arm as well? Do they push for innovation, or how do you feel about that as a part of the organization?
I would say, in a way, I can't reveal, of course, too much, but there's plenty of discussions going on behind the scenes to figure out, indeed, anything innovation. On the other hand, it's indeed with bigger companies, it's sometimes also not easy to just figure out, indeed, how you can develop fast enough, cater to, again, customer demand. Do you want to do it short, mid, long term? But I guess that's for even like the booking, the Expedias that I've also worked for in the past, we all know it. It's things, unfortunately, don't move as fast as you want them to be. So that's why I actually appreciate with this business unit that I work for, which is relatively smaller, you have a smaller team with, I would say, a very flat organization structure. So it's great to really work with the teams and learn and understand what the market feeds us, tells us, and how can you be innovative enough with a smaller team to respond to customer demand. And it's a lot more fun, I have to say, with working like in smaller teams rather than in these big corporations, which of course is Rakuten, the Rakuten Travel Exchange. We're the small guy, we're the fast new kid on the block. That's our thing.
Good. Thank you. Thank you. So, question for James. What do you think made Dida successful, right? You're an Asian-based company, basically. Asia has been through the, let's say, the worst impact with regards to COVID, still impacted by that, but still, Dida managed to came out stronger than that. What do you think are the factors that made it successful?
I think at the end it's still like the technology, because what we are doing is not like a new business. No, like a lot of people are doing it. But that being said, how do you stand out in this market? Like underlying it's still like the technology. I can share a little bit because our core founding like team members, like all the engineers, we were all from like Expedia. So we already had some experience like before having Dida, and thanks Expedia. So, but again, like because we started like we still position ourselves as like a startup company, and we started like 10 years ago. So 10 years is seems like a long time, but like compared to other travel company, we're still very young. So at the very beginning, we can always adopt the newest like latest technology. For example, like the cloud computing. From day one, we're using like cloud. Of course, for right now it's like everywhere, but at that time, like it's still like just started. So also we can use a lot of like a big data and AI, and that's how we can like stand out in this market, that I would say. Yeah.
Thank you. So a big part for every travel business, because there's always a traveler in the end of the funnel, right? Whether you're selling in the B2B or B2C, there's always customer service behind it. One of the use cases which is most common that we see that travel companies are adopting chatbots, right? Whether it's Expedia virtual agent or...
You are dead. If you don't adopt chatbots, you're dead.
Yeah, you would be surprised. In the B2B sector, I haven't seen a company who adopted a chatbot as an assistant.
I mean...
I haven't seen anything, really.
Wait, you say in B2B you didn't see?
In B2B, no, I haven't.
Every RFP that we get in Amex
yes,
needs
majority,
to have
yes.
chat. If there is no chat, like we are not the travel management company.
Maybe chat, but with a human, not with a bot. Though
chat and AI. Yeah. Anyway,
okay.
continue.
Okay, I'll tell you what my question is. So it's one of the, travel is always about service. Everybody are talking about service. People are choosing to work with specific partners because they are giving them better service than others, and they are committed to work under better service standards. What is the most minimal infrastructure that a company needs in order to connect this type of chatbot solution that will help them provide better service?
Got it. Let's establish first the need of chat. Like, question for the audience. Like, how many of you guys, if you have a choice, when you speak with your airline or your travel agent, how many of you guys would chat versus phone? So raise your hand if it is chat.
I'll chat, for sure.
Okay, how many of you guys would call? Okay, we have a lot of abstention, too many abstentions. No, anyways, chat is growing like crazy. You know, it grew for us 10x in the last 2 years. We aim to have like 30% of our contacts being on chat. Again, every RFP, like if you don't have chat, if you don't have AI, we cannot win customers anymore. It's revolutionary, not only for the customer experience, because the travelers want it. Nobody wants to stay holding on the phone anymore. But also because for us, you know, we can shift the service center away from high-pay countries. You know, instead of US and Europe, it can be Mexico or the Philippines, but the CSAT doesn't go down. So if you put service center for phone in Mexico or the Philippines, the customer experience goes down, the CSAT is low.
Yeah.
For chat, it stays the same. So you have a savings there, but then you can implement artificial intelligence, and then you have another additional savings.
But what do I need? How does it actually connect to my system, and what can it actually do? Can it provide information, or can it actually create actions? Meaning, can I ask a chatbot to cancel my booking, or to change my date, or to recommend me on a hotel for a specific destination?
Good question. Yeah, we developed 2 modes, autopilot and copilot. So in autopilot, you can, for example, request an invoice, or you can make a point-to-point booking. I need to go there, and you don't need to speak with an agent. Just when you have something simple, you want it quick and personalized. You don't want to wait for somebody else to join, even if it is 3 minutes. But we also have a co-pilot mode. So if you have like a very complex reservation or you need to change something, still the AI is there to collect all the parameters, and is still helping the agent to surface all the information about this traveler, and maybe to suggest the best trips to send back.
Yeah.
So that the agent can be like 30% faster.
Okay.
Your initial question was, what is the minimum?
What is the minimal requirement for that? Like what? Anyone can connect the chatbot? Do we need to have special infrastructure to do that? Like if Dido wants tomorrow to implement a chatbot to eliminate all of their customer service, right? What do they need to have?
Yeah, tell me.
Yeah.
Okay, all customer service replaced? Not possible. That's not a good strategy. No, but so first, you need to have a omni-channel strategy. So you need to be present on all the chat platform. You know, some travelers are on WhatsApp, some other on Facebook, some other online. Some people have maybe the work phone that doesn't allow WhatsApp, so you need to have the other. You need to have SMS. But then, you know, their corporates might require them to chat with their agent on Zoom or Slack. So you need to be wherever they are. So first thing, omni-channel strategy, be wherever they are, and connect all of these to an agent desktop. And this agent desktop is also a difficult choice because it needs to be pretty powerful in terms of routing, in terms of the information you surface to an agent, in terms of how many conversations the agent can see at the same time. So there are a lot of tools. There is Salesforce, there is LivePerson, which is probably the best flexible and mature solution out there. But you can go even super cheap, like there is a startup based in Malaysia here, Respond.io. They are very cheap and they do the job. So first thing, have an omni-channel strategy. Second thing, you
sounds very complex, by the way.
Sounds very
very complex to do. Not an easy task to do.
It's not super easy, but this is the easy part. The complex part is putting AI on top. And as I was saying before, the fact is that travel is so complicated and requires...
Sounds like a lease, not like a build.
Sounds like
a lease. Like, better buy it don't build it your own.
It's tough to build your own. You need to have a lot of investment. But the problem is that you cannot go to Dialogflow or Watson or Alexa and build it with your own data set. You imagine you have a good data set that you collected out of all these conversations. Still, it will not work. You need to have your own algorithm developed in-house in order to provide automation of chat.
Thank you. Look, guys, we are out of time now. Sorry?
That went fast.
Yeah, it went fast. Definitely, I completely agree. Is there anything any one of you would like to add? And I remind you, the topic is that all travel companies from all verticals, whether they're corporate, B2B, distributors, B2B companies, corporate, B2C, OTAs, should adopt technologies, and what types? Anyone wants to add anything?
I think I spoke too much. I leave.
Go ahead.
Yeah, well, adapting to technology and accepting technology. I think I actually have something else that I would want to just share. And one thing that I really learned here from my career background here is more how well can you position yourself as a company to learn and understand what the data actually tells you, that especially once again under unprecedented situations that can happen, how fast can you adopt to the situation to make sure that you still fulfill the needs of your customer and offer basically that great service that we just talked about here. I think that that's an important one, and therefore, like, how good are you actually really at reading your data and getting the output that you need for steering your organization?
To my opinion, look, let the experts do their job, right? There are two options. Either go to the whole learning curve. It might take years and you might not be as professional in everything you want to be professional in. What we do in HotelMize, that if for every new topic that we encounter as a need to develop basically, we always try to get it from a third party whose main expertise, like it's this about data scalability, I'm not going to build it my own, right? I'm going to take Couchbase or something like that. And I believe companies should do the same with us. If you want to develop a rebooking solution, you can build it on your own. You probably won't know how much of the potential you're actually capturing. If you want to build a price-free product, you can try to build it on your own. It might be a profitable or it might be a losing product for you. So in today's industry, when it's so competitive, every bite matters, and my suggestion is to take the experts. This is what we do in HotelMize, and this is what we sell to others as well.
But depends how big is your business, right?
What?
Because if you are a startup, always buy. Everything is buy. License as much as you can.
But I don't only
but
say, I do it myself. I buy myself as well. I'm not only selling, I'm buying as well.
Of course. I have these two hats, the startup hat and the American Express GPT hat. But if you're a company as GPT, let's say you cannot license a profile management system. You're not going to spend, $30 million every year, So you're just going to build it. It just makes sense. When the numbers are big, you start.
But Ricky, you're the perfect example. Instead of building, they bought you. It's exactly that. They tried it before, I guess. They adopted it. They saw it's working, and they said it's fit.
Yeah, because if they were licensing from us, it would have been in the end way more expensive. So
maybe you should have not sold them.
Because the numbers are so big.
Maybe next time. Well, thank you, everybody. It was wonderful. Thank you for joining.
Thank you, Dol.
Thank you, guys.